All right, we are live.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. Exactly.
Indeed, live.
All right. Oh, man. I mean, I had trouble finding anything that wasn't related to two other countries going back and forth.
Yeah.
So it was like that has flooded my news all week.
I have done really well. I have not been following anything along that nature. So for the most part, my news feed is mostly clear, which has been very good. I haven't been getting any trial-related stuff, election-related stuff, or war-related stuff. So I've been doing good. I've been hearing about games.
I've avoided most of the trial stuff.
Well, I did hear about, like I said, the Moana thing. That popped up. It was Disney-related, I guess. But
the Rock.
The Rock, Yeah. But that's about it.
Yeah. We may talk about that. We'll see where we get by the end
We got to get
show.
real bored to talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the most anticipated DLC coming up, man. Like, this is the greatest DLC
Are
ever.
you done with Dead Island 2? Can I deinstall it? Or because you're playing Remnant, and even when I've asked you, can I play with you, you've ignored me, so.
What? You want to play Remnant 2? Why haven't you joined us?
I sent you messages, and I got a nothing in response.
Man, I've asked Q multiple times, like, when's Bloodaxe going to join us? And he's like, oh, I don't think Bloodaxe is really feeling it,
I've asked him multiple times over the past
Last thing I got about you was asking me to play Gears 4 and Grounded.
Okay. Go check your messages, and you'll see a request on Xbox. Hey, you have room for a second.
Xbox. Oh, man, my Xbox messages don't work half the time. I told you I don't receive them.
I don't see them things either when I get them.
You remember when we were finding that out that half your messages don't come through?
Because we've been playing on PC.
No. Back when we were on Xbox, there was an issue with that. Because he would send me invites and it wouldn't pop up. There was some kind of problem.
Well, I noticed months after Bloodaxe had sent me something.
There's also a distinct absence of you even asking if I'm interested in playing.
We haven't talked in a while, have we? Like I said, every time I got a text from you, it was like Gears 4 and Grounded. I'm like, oh, he's doing Grounded. He's playing Gears 4. Well, You're doing speed runs on Gears 4.
Let's get on that, man. Let us know when's good, and we'll set something up, man. Get all three of us going.
Yeah, when do you want to play? Pick a time.
Let me cook dinner and play tonight.
Okay, then.
All right, well, let's get started with the show. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype,
we have Bloodaxe, the left out, the forgotten.
All right. Sorry. I had Metallica in my head. Where were we? Oh, yes. Starfield. Yeah, a game we hadn't played in forever. Apparently got a really big update.
I've never gotten past the first real mission of that, man. I've stopped that game at the intro.
No. I thought it was amusing. I saw this article. It said Starfield's massive new update has officially won players back. And I was like, wow, I heard about the update. I read the update. It's actually a pretty decent update. But I was like, I don't know if it's winning any players back. It did some things it needed to do. But yeah, anyway, I read for further on the article, and it goes from is to I think it's happening. So
maybe, possibly.
No, it was a huge update, and it did do a lot of the things that we thought should have been there to begin with. For one, New Game Plus, I think, finally got it where you will be able to reset your traits.
That was big. Okay,
which was really cool.
It's also easy and should have been in place, but yeah.
They've been trying to add some stuff to make the game feel a little more alive. And
does it have the mod shop that was supposed to be?
I think more markers and stuff to let you know where things are in town so you don't get lost.
What about the mod thing, though?
The mod thing. No, it has still not come out. But they did mention it and said, it's still coming.
Game's not going to really get a breath of fresh air until people can mod the game properly.
I agree. And that's why I was shocked to see somebody go, oh, yeah. I was like, no, they're going to need the mod thing. And I honestly, at this point, nobody's coming back till at least the DLC comes out. You know, like get it all cooked back in, get the mod thing going, and then release a good DLC, and you might bring people back to Starfield. But you're not going to be bringing back people just by doing these fixes that should have been done a long time ago. Come on, we're past the 6-month mark now. You know, we're going in on the latter end of the year of this game being out, and you're just now getting things that honestly should have been done months and months ago. I mean, we were promised the whole mod thing back, I think, in January, and what is it? Is it May, April?
It's May.
It's Cinco de Mayo, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, May the 4th be with you was yesterday.
And now it's Revenge of the Sith. Or
Yeah.
Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the 5th. So, literally, I mean, it's nice they did the patch, but I'm still on the team a little too late. Like, they need a lot more. They need a lot more, man. It's great to have it. At least it's not as dead as some games.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that, which, odd enough, is still part of Bethesda news. But it's not enough. Nowhere near enough. No. Not even close to enough.
But yeah, improved surface maps. Apparently, I think you can do some internal modifications to your ship design now.
Yeah,
dozed
off.
Added a ship decoration mode.
That thing that doesn't really matter much to the game, your ship.
I don't know, man. I do actually. I do like to tweak my ship, and it was really a pain in the ass to grab something and try to balance it on a shelf or something.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Then just to bump it and it goes shooting across the ship, you know.
I just wish you got to do a little more with it. There's a little more meat. But, you know, if they added mods, someone would fix that for them. Probably make that an element, a survival element.
Somebody probably make a lot of cool elements if we ever got the full modder pack that we still haven't got.
Those Horizon guys may
almost 6 months after you promised it.
But you know what we're not doing? We're not waiting on characters we paid for.
Oh.
We're not waiting for a $100 version of this game to give us character. And you know what? This is, you can go to the site and someone's posted something on Starfield. We've been getting feedback and communication on Starfield site.
Well, Bloodaxe, you sent something in the text the other day, and I mean, was that an official post from Redfield asking to say one
Redfall.
good Redfall? I mean,
Yes.
that was.
No. Who was that from? It may have been from the devs, but yeah, it was. I think it was from the developers of Redfall, but it was like the 1-year anniversary. Say something positive, and the trolling of, well, at least it's not on PS5. That's a positive. I mean, some of the trolling comments were absolutely hilarious.
Hey, there was one that was nice. They said Redfall is not the worst game on Game Pass.
Which is true.
Now, the person who said it's not on PS5 probably wasn't thinking that you know the whole Helldivers PSN thing was going to be happening, because that is actually a blessing to a lot of people. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. Yes. So Redfall players who spent $100 are still waiting for its promised heroes.
Both of them. They ain't even got one of them.
Yeah. Also, yes, it was recently 1 year since the release. Still no news.
Yeah, like 6 months since they've even made a comment on the site.
6 months since they've made a comment.
Not even a Merry Christmas. Nothing. Just dead. I went recently. Dead. And if you try to go to the message boards to talk to somebody, you got to jump through so many hoops, you could win a prize. Like, it's like, are you a robot? Go to Discord, prove who you are. We're going to let you know. Like, they don't want to talk to you. Like, normally I can just go click on a community board immediately.
6 months ago, still. With the
Like I'm used to going to a site, and when you go to community board, you click and you're there. That is not this case. You try to go talk to Arcane Studios, and you will have to jump through hoops. And of course, I got bored. I literally don't care enough. I didn't finish. I said, no. I just said I'm not fixing to sign in and do all of this crap just to go see what they're saying, which was, I guess, the point. I'm guessing the strategy is they're hoping you're not willing to put up with all of it. Now, it looks like he was able to get in. He's probably...
Well, no, this is their Twitter feed. I wanted to see, are their X
Twitter
feed.
Okay.
I was curious. So they are still posting stuff on X. I mean, trying to...
Those are pictures.
Yeah, they're posting pictures.
Those are pictures, which is what you got for a story. No animated scenes, just pictures.
And their last pin was from November 16th. Redfall Game Update 3 is now available. That's 6 months ago. So, yeah. Wow. That is just sad. That is sad at so many levels.
And I think you were saying that they are working on other games, so there's no reason to believe this is going to happen. Because I don't think they put a game out. I don't know. Did you ever check on that? Did they actually release? I don't think they released another game, but I think they've announced other projects, which is not a good sign when the studio you're waiting on to give you something you paid for is announcing other projects before they've done the thing you've paid for. You know, that's usually a pretty bad indicator when they're like, yeah, you know what we're working on? Not that thing for you. You know, I'd be pretty triggered. I'd be like, hey, what I want to see you announcing is my spit.
By this, apparently Marvel's Blade is in development.
Yeah, so they're working on Marvel's Blade, who would be a lovely extra character for Redfall, you know, if they... No. Wait a minute. So they're literally working on another vampire-related project while people are waiting for them to finish this one. Ooh, that hits different, doesn't it, Bloodaxe? Oh, they are literally making another Vampire Slayer game.
Why don't you make a good one to begin with?
Oh, that... No, hold on, man. Come on now. See, this is the kind of stuff make me go set someone's house on fire. You working on a Vampire Slayer game while I'm waiting on my Vampire Slayer DLC that I paid you for. Ooh, that hit different. That hit real different there.
I mean, I guess it depends on how many devs are that they have working on which projects, but I would spend more time and effort fixing the game that we all were expecting to be playing and not the trash fire that we got.
I mean, just the huge huevos.
Yeah.
You know, to be like, we're working on, hey, we're working on a Vampire Slayer character right now.
Right now.
Not yours. It's another one. But we're working on one. He looks great. Not yours, though. Not the one you paid us for.
I mean, that would be a way to save some money on the two additional characters. Just go ahead and scoop Blade over into Redfall. Go, there's your character.
Can't license it.
Yeah.
Actually, that might make it more fun.
No, license it, man. They can't license. Marvel won't let them.
And there's got to be some. I mean, they're working with Marvel on Marvel's Blade. You know, maybe.
Did you see the contract they made Sony? Did you see the contract they made Sony sign? You think Arcade can afford a $300,000 price tag? No, they can't.
Now I will say this is Arcane Leon, where Redfall was done by Arcane Austin, so it was done by a different office.
And Roundhouse Studios. Does Roundhouse Studios still exist? Is my question. At this point, what are they closed down?
They went defunct 4 years ago. That was before Redfall even came out. Oh wait, that's Human Head Studios. That's
successor of Roundhouse. The Roundhouse Studios doesn't even have a site. I don't know what's going on. This is a mysterious. They don't have their own site, dude. I don't think they have one. They don't. Okay, wait. What's that? Can we even find them? Does Roundhouse Studios exist? Not really. Credited on one game. Well, they almost got played worse than the people who bought Helldivers in the wrong country.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Man, these video game companies are shysting people these days, man.
That's hilarious. They don't even have their own wiki, like their wiki. If you click on Roundhouse, it goes to a defunct wiki for our different company. Oh, redirected. Yeah, redirected from Roundhouse. So, yeah, nobody's even bothered to put Roundhouse Studios in its own wiki yet.
Y'all ain't getting it. Y'all ain't getting your 2 characters. Y'all are indefinitely hiatus. Indefinite hiatus. Because, dude, I'm sorry, but 2 characters, man, they could have cranked these out by now. They could have threw something together.
You would think.
Give a dude a flamethrower and throw him out there. I don't know. Just steal something from Team Fortress. Just put Soldier and Pyro out. I don't know what's going on.
Steal something from Dishonored. Steal something from
Prey.
They
could take from their own games.
Yeah,
they could have put this. Yeah, Dishonored dude is just drop the dude from Deathloop in there. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Wolfenstein, grab those 2 sisters everyone hated.
Yeah, you can grab the 2 people from Deathloop.
Yeah,
the
just
black
both
girl
of
and
them.
the black guy, and throw them in there.
No, really
Bam.
insult them. Grab the 2 sisters. They were terrible. Oh God, remember those 2?
Nah, man, just grab them right off the cover art.
Well, they actually liked it. Deathloop actually had a few people that liked it, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, they could grab them. They could try. All right, so. Bethesda, y'all. And they doing great. Y'all looking forward to Fallout 5? They're saying Fallout 5 is the next big target game for Bethesda, because clearly the game we're all waiting for Bethesda to make next, the game that all of us are eager to see, is Fallout. No, it's fucking Elder Scrolls 6, man. What the hell is this Fallout 5 bullshit? We're far enough in on Curse, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Elder Scrolls 6, man. Elder Scrolls 6. Why the heck I keep saying all this crap about Fallout 5? Just because one episode of it, just because season show went out. Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scrolls 6.
Well, they're saying Elder Scrolls 6 may actually be really close now. So
Elder Scrolls 6.
I'm assuming.
I don't want to hear Fallout 5 until Elder Scrolls 6 is out.
I'm going to say we'll hear something on Elder Scrolls 6 come June at the Xbox event.
Showcase?
Yeah.
That's in about 4 weeks, isn't it?
June or July. Xbox.
I think it's in June.
Yeah, I think it's this one.
Showcase, 2024?
I mean, Elder Scrolls 6
June 9th, yeah.
Is the moneymaker, man. That's the moneymaker if they want to make the cash. Then it. Because the reason why Bethesda drags their feet enough, man, I don't want them trying to juggle multiple projects. You saw how long it took Starfield. Focus in on Elder Scrolls 6. Then you can go do Fallout 5.
Bethesda hadn't been doing good on anything lately. Come on. They updated Fallout 4 and made it as bad as a day one release. I mean,
I'd just rather rip the Band-Aid off, though. If they screw up Elder Scrolls 6, I'd rather get it over with. Get it out so I can see if it's trash and be done with it. And I'd rather know than wait, wouldn't you? Just get it done.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and know.
At least,
Because I'll probably be too old to play Elder Scrolls 7, how slow they are. So it's best to know if the last Elder Scrolls is any good or not. Because I'll be 90 when Elder Scrolls 7 comes out. So the last Elder Scrolls, when my eyes are still good and the cataracts haven't took over, I'd like to go ahead and see. Because Elder Scrolls 7 will come out in 2070. It'll be played by the cockroaches. The sentient cockroaches that take over the planet. So,
well, man, I'll tell you what. I have been debating on getting Helldivers 2 on PC. Our boy...
Do you still have your PlayStation Network account?
Our boy Damien, he had been playing it, and I need to ask him how if he but I will say they made the decision for me. So Helldivers 2 has gone from mostly positive on Steam to mostly negative overnight. No, it's already the mostly negative.
I thought it was overall mixed and then currently mostly negative.
Hold on, I'll pull it up on Steam. Let's see, because it has
it's been getting hit, and we'll tell you why in just a moment.
Well, you can go ahead and go into it. I'll pull up the actual.
Well, Helldivers is technically a PlayStation, Sony owned. They own the IP, but of course it's on Steam. In fact, that's where probably the largest chunk of players
overwhelmingly negative. Okay,
yeah, recent.
All reviews mixed. Yeah.
But the thing is that you could play the game. You did not have to sign into PlayStation Network at the current time it was out to play, which is why most people, one moment, would buy the game, because most people don't want to sign into PlayStation Network on a PC. That links your Steam account to PlayStation, and well, I'll let him get into more technical details, but let's just say there's a lot of concerns with linking your Steam account to PlayStation Network for various
and also,
reasons.
if you don't have a PlayStation Network, you have to go and sign up for one if you don't already have one.
And most people don't want to do it, and it links your Steam and PlayStation Network,
yeah,
which a lot of people did not want to do that are on PC.
Oh no, dude! I keep my Steam pretty much unlinked to most things. Because every time you authenticate a access point to any of your accounts, that's another form of entry into your data.
Yes.
And PlayStation, like you mentioned, PlayStation has been hacked several times, and it's like, yeah, everybody's been hacked several times. All the different networks, yes. But that's one more that will have access to where the majority of my data is, and that's in Steam.
And also what they've gotten out of it. Like, there's other people who have been hacked, but PlayStation's been hit, and they have gotten the big stuff.
Well, yeah.
They've hit PlayStation and gotten credit cards
look at this,
and
man.
personal information.
I mean, pretty good.
Ooh.
PSN network requirement.
It is going to be a literal requirement. Yes, you will not be able to play the game if you do not sign in. And here's the bigger issue, is that in some countries, you cannot get a PlayStation Network account unless you own a PlayStation. Mm-hmm. And worse, other countries, you can't get it, period. Meaning that some people that own the game will not be able to play it at all, which has caused Steam to.
So yes, Valve's issued refunds as Helldivers 2 is now delisted for hundreds of countries on Steam. Defenders of the Super Earth from over 150 countries can no longer buy copies of the popular third-party co-op shooter. This is because, yes, PSN is either not allowed in that country, or you cannot sign up to PSN in that country, or you're required to have a PlayStation to be able to sign up to PSN.
It's a $5 purchase, $500 purchase, which, that's a large copay on a game. So
I got a question.
Yes.
Do either of you know what possessed Sony to force a PlayStation account just to be able to play this game?
Well, there's two versions. They're saying so they can ban people. Because, there's toxic players and bullies, so they want to be able to ban you, which I don't even consider that a good excuse, because I trust PlayStation's judgment. Well, we know how I feel. But our theory, and the theory of anybody with at least 3 brain cells, is that to buff their numbers. I mean, there's a huge number of players on Helldivers, and getting all of those signups allows you to inflate your numbers. You get to go look at PlayStation Network. It's doing so well. Look at all these accounts.
Okay,
and your stock goes
PSN.
up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's just the usual, faking your numbers, because, they're not doing too hot on the gaming side, man. They're spending a lot of money and not bringing it in like they
Now,
hoped.
additionally, Steam has been taking refunds on this. And, I mean, they have been doing any refund for this reason, to my knowledge.
They're refunding it. I mean, it takes a little bit of effort, but they are refunding some requests. I don't guarantee. We're not guaranteeing everybody that requests a refund will get it.
Yeah.
I know if you're in those countries,
if you're in one of the 150 countries, you should be able to
you're pretty much able to get it. And they are allowing some refunds. They're definitely, trying to keep people from purchasing it from those countries, because you're not going to be able to play it in a month for obvious reasons. I mean, for example, like, reason I get it on PSN. From what I understand, the PSN network does not like you using VPNs. What they consider a bannable offense is a very loose term. We've covered that ourselves. You remember us covering them banning people for very lightly defined reasons. And, being banned from an online game like Helldivers means you can't play it. So that's them basically taking your $70 or whatever you spent on the game away from you, because they're making you not able to play the game anymore. This isn't a game you can play offline, to my understanding. So, yeah, I don't trust them. I would not trust PlayStation to have that power over me, especially because I didn't sign up for that. Like, I bought Helldivers because Steam doesn't tend to do that, and Helldivers was not being excessively oppressive with that practice either. But Sony is going to go on a ban spree. We all know. These people that are going, oh, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal, they're full of crap. I know for a fact that within about 2 months, half these people that are saying it's not a problem are going to be complaining when Sony comes in with that ban wave that we know they're going to hit people with and starts ban because it's Sony. And when they start banning people because they already got your money. And Sony, we know Sony don't give a flip. So when Sony starts banning Helldivers players like crazy because it misheard something you said and you didn't even say an offensive word, but you're speaking another language, because again, we've seen the stupidity. I mean, these are the people that did the hard R shop. You know, these is the level of stupidity that they work under. So you can't trust them to make a good call. So it's going to be a problem on every end. You're going to get it, they're going to ban you. You can't get it in some areas. So, yeah, it's a bad call. And they're ruining this game. But when have we not seen them do this? What did they do to Stellar Blade? Day one patch. For some reason, Sony is just ruining their franchises. Spider-Man game. First game, super popular. Second game, they literally said, what did people hate the most about the first game? Let's do more of that. I have not seen Sony do a bad faith practice yet. Every game they're doing bad faith practices every time. I don't even understand it.
Well, I still got to give the boss of Helldivers 2 props. Like he's been a stand-up guy over and over. Back when people were comparing the game to Halo, he's just like, hey, just play the game you like.
Two different games.
Yeah, 2 different games. And and now after this, he's like he looked at the scores. It's like, ouch, right in the review score. Well, I guess it's warranted. Just that nice guy. I guess you're right. You're right.
I mean, yeah. Retroactively getting boned over, it's gonna happen.
Sorry, everybody.
Well, like another post he had, he said, "Man, it's amazing. A few days ago, I'm on top of the world. My game's doing great." And then now it's like, it's a hell, like it's this. And it's like, yeah, Sony. Their mistake, dealing with Sony, man. I'm sorry. Sony will bury your game. Look at Stellar Blade. Like I said, we're not going to censor the game. Censor it immediately. And then another censor, stupid hard R chop, stupid nonsense. You can't trust Sony. Stop being exclusive to Sony. You can't trust them. Sony doesn't care. They don't respect their gamers. They don't respect the companies. We're going to cover in a moment another company that used to be the company to go to for RPGs. The company with great respect, reporting massive losses. What may be one of the reasons? Well, I don't know. Constant controversy over the characters, over their costumes, over their looks. Constant controversy. Making games like Forspoken, which is a train wreck. Making other bad games.
Yeah. We'll move over to that. So Square Enix announces it's tanked $140 million in losses due to content abandonment. Though there's no clue as to what's been dropped and where. Basically, Sony Square Enix is losing money, man. And I mean, I think a lot of it's to do with their more Western titles. They jumped into Western titles, and
I'll look up something I had about this. Keep going.
And I think by jumping into those Western titles and not sticking with their forte, which is honestly the more Eastern titles that they've had with Final Fantasy and Dragon's Quest and stuff like that.
There's also been controversy, though, man. There's a lot of controversy, like with Final Fantasy, like Tifa. Over and over, back and forth about Tifa's outfits and Tifa's body, and just getting into nonsense.
I didn't care about any of that, really. I mean, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But I get you.
And then, games like Forspoken that crashed. I'm trying to remember the other ones they made, but like they've had bad titles that bombed that they backed. And Marvel Avengers was
Marvel's
Enix.
Avengers, Forspoken.
And, and Balin World by Symbiogenesis. And like just these and these titles where they made terrible calls. You're gonna make a Marvel Avengers games. Cool. What's the game gonna be about? Ms. Marvel. Who? Who's that? Oh, that comic book series that's been canceled so many times. It's constantly being canceled. A character that most people don't know who that is. Okay. Well, she's not an Avenger, and that's gonna not be a good idea. Okay, well, what about Spider-Man? You know, that's a Sony-related thing, but remember what I just said, because Square Enix has been in bed with Sony for a while now. Oh, Sony screwed them over by going, no, we're going to hold off on Spider-Man. No, I'm not going to put him out on every title, and you're going to have to wait, what was it, like 4 or 6 months before Spider-Man came out? By the time Spider-Man came out, no one cared. And I'm just like, why would you not put out Spider-Man, the character everyone was looking forward to, that long? You know, like on the Marvel Avengers game. That's dumb. But they waited so long to add him to the game that I remember I didn't know he was out on the game. I found out watching an Angry Joe video where they commented that he was finally added to the game later. The chat, Flynn says Miss Marvel wasn't the problem. And, you know, I'm not saying that she's what tanked the game, Flynn. I don't say tank. I'm just saying she didn't add anything to it. Like she's not a character that brought anything to the game. And you played as her for a large chunk of the game.
Yeah. I heard it had a lot of issues, but I also heard from a lot of people that, there were better choices than Miss Marvel. And I mean, yes, maybe Miss Marvel didn't tank the game, but there were better choices. We know there's better choices.
Like for me, I think that a better choice of who you could have played as maybe an up-and-coming new Avenger would have been Spider-Man. Peter Parker has occasionally joined the Avengers. I think it would have been amazing if that character had been Peter Parker. Game, immediate success. I would love to play Peter Parker as he being introduced to the Avengers.
Well, it's just Miss Marvel isn't really a character that is a hugely well-known, well-liked character. It's not.
She's an unknown. She's just an unknown. That's the main thing. She's an unknown, and most people no matter what you say, most people I know that played the game did not know who she was. And did not care. Well, I mean, they didn't have the IP, but it's Square Enix and it's Sony. They're in bed with Sony. They could have probably talked Sony into it, or at least tried to pitch for it. And if not him, then you know what? Let you make your own character. That's always very appealing to make a new character that gets introduced to the story. That's a great idea. You got to do it with that X-Men game. You got to make a new mutant. But here's the other idea. You just play as freaking Avengers, the characters you like. You don't play as an offshoot character at all. You play as the Avengers.
I mean, that's something that's always has gotten me about games. Like, okay, it's the Power World mentality that we used to have that mentality with almost all games. We made games to sell. We made, everybody, it's the music industry, You're all against the sellouts till you sell out and you get that money, Every game company wants to be a sellout. Every artist wants to be a sellout. And that was the thing. Because you want to make the games that appeal to the most people. Because that's what a sellout is. A sellout is making things that appeal to the majority. That's how you make your money and you stay a company.
Yes.
And, yes, you can have passion projects here and there that are not for the mass majority, but you sink the money behind what's going to sell. And it seems like game companies and just almost society in general has gone in this opposite direction of we don't want to really sell stuff. We want to force people to buy stuff they don't want.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that when I had that statement about the fact that despite this supposed new move toward inclusion, we've had less player choice than we've ever had. So many games force me to play a character I don't want to play that I'm amazed. I'm like, wow, I feel like I have less choice on what I play than I ever did, and I feel the least represented because I'm not seeing a bunch of black straight males as characters at all. I'm mainly seeing characters I have nothing in common with. So, weirdly enough, and I don't get to choose. I rarely get to make my own character, and I rarely see multiple choice. Used to be 2 or 3 characters to choose from. Or make your own character. That is becoming a thing of the past, and your choice play this specific character with a very specific attitude and very specific preferences. And I'm like, that's less than instead of more. And it's also a very specific set that I don't even know anybody that matches this character. I know a lot of people. I don't know a single person that is the person that you put on your game.
Yeah.
I look at Forspoken, don't know that person, never met him. Been to hundreds of cons, I'm on the internet, watched dozens of videos, never met that person in my life. Don't know him, never met him. Look at the next game, I watched a game of upcoming action RPG games. 50% of the games were the main character from Forspoken. Don't know those people. So 50% of those games,
you either don't know them, or if you do know them, they're generally disliked by the public.
They're generally not very popular. Yeah. Yes, they're generally rather annoying. So 50% of the games that were coming up on this video, and here's the thing, before I wouldn't have really cared. I would have watched the game, see if I like it, but I'm so turned off by that now, I just literally immediately put 50% of the games that showed off out of my head and watched the other 50% where it wasn't that. And I said, I didn't even say this isn't the way I used to be. I used to would have paid attention to every game. Yeah. But you get an aversion to something when you're oversaturated with it.
Yeah.
And I'm oversaturated with this same annoying character.
You create the people that you claim to be fighting against. You know, whenever you shove something down people's throat to a point, they start getting an aversion to it.
Well, it's just like they say when you get appendicitis. They say, be careful what you eat, because due to that bad experience when you get your surgery and all that, you'll actually never want to eat that food again. Usually that last thing you ate. It's the same thing. Yeah. You develop an aversion to something that you get too much of, and it's always a bad experience. And the problem is, Forspoken was a bad game. Saints Row was a bad game. So, you know, the Batwoman show was a bad show. It's always being associated. Resident Evil was a bad Netflix series. It's not me. It's that every time you give me this character, it's terrible. So my mind is going, oh, well, this has to be bad because it's always bad. It's never been good. Mm-hmm. So when I see it, I just go, well, this game's going to suck because it's never not sucked. Well, let's look at this game. You know, that's what you start to get programmed to do because you're getting so much bad quality. You're just going to, dude, if every time I drink something yellow, it tastes like piss, I would eventually never drink anything yellow again. Yeah. If every time I drink something yellow.
Well, and then if you can get something that doesn't taste like piss, it's going to taste like piss because your mind's already
programmed to think.
Yeah.
Like 100 of that in a row, you're just not going to trust yellow drinks
I mean,
anymore.
they have these black and white images online that if you look at them and you look at them from a distance, you'll actually see red. You know, it'll be like a picture of a strawberry, and you'll see red when you look at this black and white image. Now, you zoom in, you really look at it, it's still just a black and white image. There was never any red there. But your mind saw strawberry, and it sort of started filling in the color palette.
So, and I know we got a little aside, but like I said, it's the aversion. And I think that's what happens when they keep doing it. And Sony's making this mistake. It's making the same bad calls over and over, and it's creating an aversion in their products that's costing them money. And Square Enix keeps beating down the same bad door. It's the way we react when we hear the word censored. Mm-hmm. Some of the censorship probably is reasonable, but we've got to the point that any censorship bothers us now. We hear a game got censored, your first thought is, I don't like that, even if you don't know what was censored.
Well, here's the thing, man. I've been fighting censorship since, I was a kid in the 80s, when the internet was being, brought up, and the government was trying to shut down the internet and censor the internet. So, I mean, our generation, us in our 40s.
Dude, D&D.
Yeah, D&D.
D&D, Grand Theft Auto.
We've been fighting censorship for so long. It doesn't matter what you're censoring. It's an immediate, bad
There was
taste.
a time they were burning Harry Potter books, and it wasn't because they didn't like, Rowling.
Yeah.
It was just they thought, it's a book about wizards. It's the devil. I remember that. Like, I've been on the wrong side of many of those battles, because, according to them, because I was like, dude, it's a game. Dude, it's still a game. Dude, it's a kid's book.
Yeah.
So I know. But Square Enix has actually canceled a bunch of games. They're reporting massive losses. And we mainly pointed it out because they've teamed with Sony. They've been very close with Sony, and that isn't working out. They stopped being as big in the multi-platform. They basically went all in on Sony, and it's not been working out. And I'm just saying that Sony is not good for business. So I'm entreating gaming companies, please, go multi-platform. I'm not saying don't work with Sony. Go multi-platform. Leave yourself open. Do you want to know why Sony censored? I made a comment on a video about the Stellar Blade, and it has gotten multiple likes, which I said they should have made Stellar Blade multi-platform. If they had, Sony would not have censored their version. You want to know why? Because if they'd have done that, everybody would have bought the non-Sony version, right? That's how you stop Sony from screwing with your game. I now know why Sony makes their game, spends all this money to make your game exclusive. It's so they can bone you. When Sony gets you to be stupid enough to put your game out just to them, they can now screw your game over and you can't do anything. Because they can censor your game if they've got the only copy of your game. I mean, am I being crazy?
No.
But if you put your game out on Xbox and PC and PlayStation, and then Sony goes, we're gonna censor our version of the game, then me and Bloodaxe Bloodaxe is gonna be like Xbox baby, and I'm gonna be like Xbox or PC, and Xeno's gonna be like PC, and then those copies are gonna be selling, and Sony's gonna be like, oh crap. So I'm now realizing that part of Sony's strategy is they isolate you so they can abuse you.
Yeah.
Stop falling for it.
I will say it's been really annoying with Square Enix and their multi-platform, because it's like they dip a toe in the multi-platform every once in a while, but then they'll go back to just PlayStation. Yeah, let's dip a toe into Xbox. Nah, just PlayStation.
Well, if you look at their biggest failures, it's the exclusives. The ones that do the worst. Octopath 2 did pretty good. The games that are bombing are tending to, and it had the controversy. Final Fantasy, all the stuff about Tifa that I mentioned. Well, guess what? It's a PlayStation. It's not on Xbox. They're doing this to their exclusive games because they can. Stop being exclusive to Sony, and Sony can't screw you over. It's very basic common sense. If Sony can get you to themselves, they're going to screw your game over. Listen to Bloodaxe. Bloodaxe got it right. Xbox, man. Or Xeno, PC. Stop being exclusive to Sony. They're going to sabotage your game. You know what's funny? I'm going to bring it up. If Helldivers had went with that petition to put Helldivers on Xbox, this would have not happened. None of this would have went down.
Well, yeah, I mean, they
none of this
it
would
was
have
it was it was a little too late by then, though. That was the problem.
They would have never tried to do this PSN thing, and they never would have messed with it. It is a clear example of what happens when Sony has you to themselves.
I mean, I'm not happy with Remnant 2 making their cross-platform go through Epic. So
not really either. And nothing weird's happened yet, but who knows what the future holds. We don't even know if we're going to be able to get Bloodaxe in there with how much trouble we had for a while getting it going. We have to go through Steam. We're not and here's the problem. I don't think we can link up with him through Steam. I think we got to link up to him with Epic. But we can't get on with each other through Epic.
Well, that's because I refuse to link mine to Epic.
So you may not be able to play with us.
I'll link it to Epic if I have to play with you guys, but I'm holding off to the last minute to see.
So you're talking
I'm hoping your link to Epic will get to him, and then my link to Steam will get to you, and the three of us could daisy chain.
Maybe Epic is less evil than Sony. We'll find out today and let you guys know next weekend.
Oh, that was something we didn't mention, was the whole VPN thing with the PlayStation Network.
I mentioned that they'll ban you for using a VPN, which means you can't even use basic VPN protection when you're playing, when you're signed into the PSN. Which is most people want to use a VPN. So I mean, it's just a train wreck.
Yeah. But in the chat room says Sony pays them too much money to make the games exclusive. The studio possibly made good money, even if the game undersells. Same thing Epic does. Those games that show up on Epic first, the studio gets paid very well before the first game has ever sold. Yes, and Epic has still not made a single profitable year off of its store because of this.
Problem, though, is that's what I used to think too, Flynn, and that does sound like that, except that Square is reporting massive losses because they did this game cancellation because they already had reported losses before that. So it's not working. They're losing. They're going down. That's what I'm saying, is that I knew that front-loaded money was not going to make up for successful games. It's not. You have to eventually sell your product.
I don't know how much Helldivers was getting off of the sales. Being that Sony purchased Helldivers, the title, I think, from what I understand, they may not be getting anything other than what they got from Sony to get. So maybe this won't hurt them that much. Well, I mean, it hurts their reputation in general for future games.
It's going to make it hard to get another one out.
Yeah.
But just in general, all I'm saying is I predicted. You remember my aluminum foil hat theory that I said. I said this. He's my witness. I said, and probably Bloodaxe might remember saying it. I said that front-ended payoff is not going to make up for, in my theory, not selling games in the long run. Didn't I say that, Bloodaxe? I kept saying, I said, no, man, they're going to eventually need to actually sell games. I believe that's what happened to Square Enix. They were getting that little Sony payoff, but eventually it caught up to them when the games weren't selling.
And that was sort of where I was going with the whole wishy-washy, them putting something on Xbox and not putting something on. People quit buying Final Fantasies on Xbox because occasionally a Final Fantasy would show up on Xbox, but they're not invested in the franchise anymore because they didn't have the last three, you know. And I might not be able to get the next one, or hell, the 0.5 version of the one I got because it may, only be on PlayStation. So by not consistently going, look, we are a video game creator. We are going to distribute to video game consoles, and PC. And just leave it at that. And then let the best system win, I mean, honestly, we don't want either system to fully win. We want them to compete.
That's what's best. But especially you need to stop being exclusive to a system that does not have your best interests. Because, I mean, say what you want about Microsoft and its many mistakes, including recently. I haven't seen Microsoft specifically go into a game and just destroy it. Most of the mistakes have been Microsoft being hands-off and the game destroys itself, like Redfall and Starfield. But, Sony actively interferes to absolutely never a benefit. I've never seen any game better for Sony interference.
Microsoft has pretty much the opposite. Is it keeps not interfering when it probably should.
Yeah. But Sony tends to go in and screw your game up and screw you over. And that's my thing, is stop being exclusive to a company that is likely to F you over.
Though, I mean, I can't say much after, Xbox released that DEI crap.
I made that comment. I said they got their own crap. But we haven't seen them do anything with it yet.
Well, no, they haven't forced the DEI. They just put it out there as a
But like I said, they let you screw yourself.
Yeah.
They go, here's a bad idea. Now, Sony walks in and kicks in the door and goes, screw it up now. Censor it. You said you weren't going to censor it. We lie. Hey, Helldivers, make them sign in the PlayStation Network.
Allegedly lied. I mean, we still we still haven't
allegedly.
Yeah. The creators said that was their intentions all along.
Creator lies. I'll call somebody a lie in a minute. I don't care. But notice I did say I don't care, so that also tells you the veracity. Now, anyway, like I said, though, that's the Square Enix, but I just wanted to point that out, because honestly, I was telling them I almost didn't want to know what to say, because it's starting to not be fun. I feel like I'm punching down on Sony. They hand themselves so many L's, I don't get to pick on them anymore. How can I pick on this big, powerful company when they make themselves look like dumbasses? Bloodaxe, it's almost not fun. It's like Disney, like you at Disney. You almost can't make fun of Disney when Disney makes a bigger ass out of himself,
Yeah, and the thing with Sony is they're filmmaking is superior to a lot of the other things we're seeing in Hollywood right now. How are they jacking up gaming so bad? It doesn't make any sense. Because they've shown they can make good decisions. They're just refusing to do it in the video game market.
What gets me is how it's so retroactive. How the game company will have a winner, and then Sony comes in and goes, "We know you're going to make a lot of money, but we want you to make 25% less money." And that's what they do. They go in, because, I mean, hey, Spider-Man 2 was still a success, but there's no way they didn't lose some on the bad calls. Like, they definitely harmed the franchise. Spider-Man 3 will make at least 30% less money than it would have from the stuff they did in Spider-Man 2. There's no way it won't. They sidelined Spider-Man, they sidelined Peter Parker. Huh?
Maybe. I mean, or it could be one of those games where it's slow out of the gate, but with word of mouth and reviews, it could eventually pick up steam and begin selling more. But you're right, you are starting behind the 8 ball in a bad position because your bad choices. Same thing with Last of Us 2. When The Last of Us 3 comes out, they're going to have a hard time winning back some of that fan base because of the choices they made with the second game.
Yeah, they're literally saying we want to make less money in the future, and that's what every decision they make feels like. It's to the point now that the next time Sony says a game's coming out and Sony says we're not going to censor it, no one's going to believe them. You can't.
Oh, hell no.
And next time they say, hey, do you know that they got caught changing their EULA? People went and caught them. Their EULA used to say you're not required to sign into the PSN for PC games. They now have changed it to say you may be required for some games. They changed it recently, like today. They got caught, though, because people had copies of it. That's shady. You wouldn't change your EULA to cover up that now. Now, you did it just recently because people pulled the EULA and said, I thought you said it wasn't going to be necessary. What did Sony do? They just changed it. They don't care. They just changed it. They went, okay, we'll change it. Whatever. We just changed the EULA and say, so now it says this. How do you trust that company? How do you trust PC purchases? Because what this is going to do is this is going to definitely make some people, like now, I kept saying I might buy God of War Ragnarok and God of War on PC. No. Because even if it doesn't require it now, I now know they'll go back. They might.
Oh no, trust me, dude.
We've changed the deal.
I've been waiting for the second.
We don't change it
I've
again.
been waiting for the second God of War to come out on PC because I'm not gonna chance it now, dude, because I don't want to deal with that.
You never know because we now know they'll come back and change it and just go, yeah, we changed it. What you gonna do about it, punk? Sign in or not? Sign in or don't play.
And these are the reasons why retro gaming is starting to pick up steam, and even retro film franchises are going back picking up steam because they're just better quality games and you know what you're going to get with them. I mean, there's the reason why we're playing Gears of War 4 is because nothing good's come out lately, and the things that are coming out, they're screwing up.
I mean, they're literally creating a version of console games even that come out on PC. It's going to get to the point where people are only going to want to buy PC games that are purely PC games. Heck, I'm starting to feel that way. Like, I'm starting to be like, man, I think I don't even want to touch a PC game that came from a console if these are the kind of practices I may face. You know, where, cool, this game's out on PC. Wait, but it's an Xbox game. It's a PlayStation game. There may be shenanigans. Now, luckily, at the moment, I have Xbox Game Pass, so that's not an issue. But if I got rid of my Game Pass, I did see some game recently. I saw something where they said you got to have Game Pass to play some online version of a game. It doesn't affect me because I have it, but I did remember when I saw that, I said, that's not cool. You know, like for people who don't, you know, that's not a good practice. If you're going to put a game out on PC, it needs to be fully functional on PC. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be fully functional. It doesn't need to require anything outside of, I paid you the money. I gave you $70, you give me a game that works. That should be the end of the transaction. This is going to be a problem. And I think now, especially for Sony, because at least Xbox doesn't have as bad a rep with their network, but PSN has a bad reputation, really bad reputation. You know, and like I said, it's not liked. And with their weird patents they keep putting out for this strange, like, you know, software to read your mood to determine if it needs to ban you. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm going to get banned and I didn't even say anything. It just decides I'm an a-hole based on my heartbeat or something. The crazy, weird patents and stuff make me not trust them. I'm like, I don't know what they're up to. they're just coming off sus as heck, man. Like everything I hear from Sony just makes me more cringe and want to stay as far away from them as I possibly can. So, yeah, it's punching down. I'll admit it. It is weird because Sony's huge and I'm not, but it doesn't change the fact that it's like, it's hard to sit up there because it feels like I'm kicking them when they're down. I'm not even knocking them down. They're already on the ground because they tripped themselves. And you're just kind of throwing kicks at them because they keep face planting. You know?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. I'm fed up with them at this point. I'm fed up with a lot right now. Like, it's not just Sony, and I mean, Sony's probably getting a brunt of it just because they're the most blatant at this time. But
oh yeah, it's definitely not just Sony that does this stuff.
The industry has not been very pro gamer lately. Like.
Dude, indie. That's why we said, What did we say last time? We're going to start pushing this more. There's a reason that the indie seems to be the spot. The best thing I can see on the game is I don't know who the heck made it. Oh, good. It's made by somebody I never heard of. It might actually be legit. Worst thing you could do is see Blizzard or Ubisoft. Like, Why do you think that they're buying these small companies and kind of hiding that they're involved? Because their names are a bad thing to see. I don't want to see EA on a game I'm about to play. I don't want to see Ubisoft. I don't want to see Gearbox. It's a bad sign. Hey, best thing that can happen for the next Borderlands is that it comes out and it's made by somebody we don't know. Best chance we'll get a good Borderlands game is if we don't know who the heck, if it's made by a third-party group. Because what do we get from the people we did know? We got Tiny Tina's Wonderland. We got Tales from Borderlands 2, which felt like it was written by people who said, I hate Borderlands so much. Let's just screw this up as much as possible. It felt like the most spiteful thing. And that's the word I use. When I see games being made these days, it feels like when on a franchise that's got some veterancy to it, spite.
Speaking of indie games, I heard a lot about this. If you're into strategy sim games, a lot of people have been talking about Manor Lords. So seeing a lot of hype. Another indie company that's been getting a lot of hype lately. So, I mean, dude, there are a lot of indie companies. Oh no, dude. I mean, I know you're not big into this style of game, but it's the fact that another indie company getting a lot of hype. I've seen several articles pop up in my feed about Manor Lords. So it's yeah. I mean, I'm once again, like you said, I have no clue who Slavic Magic is. Never heard of the company, but apparently they made a good game.
Dude, when I was watching that upcoming RPGs, all the ones that looked the most interesting were being made by people I never heard of. And I was like, oh, that looks really good. Who the heck is... That's just a symbol. I don't even know it has a name. All right, good. But then you see like that AAA and you're like, that looks like a hot mess. So it's at the point where in the gaming industry, we need new blood.
Oh, absolutely.
We need new blood. We need the big companies to fall off. It's just the truth, Yeah. Never thought I'd be the...
on that one. Because I was going to say new blood would actually be good for the industry, and that way they can show them how it's done. Same thing with the comic book industry. Getting away from Marvel and DC, and you start getting these indie comics that are doing better than the tried and true. So maybe we just need a complete refresh of the market, and maybe we can find some games we actually enjoy to play.
I mean, I think that's one of the things. I think the next big game we're going to enjoy is going to be an indie game, because you know what's good about indie games? They can't afford to get these consultants. They can't afford them. So they just put their game out, and they don't get bothered by consultants because they know they don't have the money.
Too bad indie film is too bougie.
Well, the problem with the film industry is that films are expensive.
Yeah.
You can actually make a decent game indie, but you need a lot of money to make a movie.
So I was thinking, man, where's the indie companies making it? And I was like, wait, there I are. They're very bougie, though, very elitist.
Movie budgets are just too hard to get. That's the only problem, is that movies are expensive. Now, I wish big studios would give indie directors more chances.
Yeah.
That'd be great if they would just go, you know what, Spielberg, sit down. We're going to give this guy a shot.
And not use the same handful of writers over and over again. And
You know, the same handful of people who do the same movie, slightly different.
Yeah.
You know,
the
same actors.
You know, bazillionth M. Night Shyamalan. Oh, look, twist ending. You know.
There was a time, maybe, that people thought that was innovative and unique.
It was fun the first couple of times with him, but it, you know, then it got like, okay, we know, you know.
It's going to be something weird, right?
Yeah. All right. The thing that you keep pointing at and putting all the evidence toward, that's not going to be it. It's going to be something else. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's going to be something random. The twist ending is, what the hell was that? I don't know if that's a twist ending or that's just...
Because, you know, the first couple, too, I mean, it also when you do that, I think once you get somebody up on that pedestal, they also just don't put in the same effort. Because if you remember the first few M. Night Shyamalan movies, you know, there were subtle hints laid out through them. But then after a while, he quit putting the subtle hints because people knew to look for the subtle hints. So he was just like, I just got to come up with something out of my ass at the end, you know.
Lady in the Lake. She's a princess. How the heck were we supposed to figure it out? You weren't. I was lying all the way up to that point, just random. Like, this is no Sixth Sense. This is not. Sixth Sense is well done. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Sixth Sense is well done. I like Signs, but the Lady in the Water, that one is like, you know, I've had enough.
Random. That was just random. And The Happening didn't even have a twist because, I mean, they just told you. It's the plants. They were pretty obvious from the beginning. It's like, it's the plants. What's the twist? There's not one. Oh.
But, I mean, we've gotten to the point where...
spoiler, it's the plants and The Happening if you didn't know.
When it comes to directors, I mean, you can pretty much look at their work. You know who it is. You know, James Gunn movie is going to be a James Gunn movie no matter what, you know. It's going to have that same Guardians of the Galaxy, you know...
Yeah, it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Period. This is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know, so we need some fresh blood in the movie industry. That's. But yeah, I don't know how you get there because like even the indie stuff is just.
You need new directors, man. That's why I don't know if bringing George Lucas back matters to Star Wars. I'm like, I mean, he had a lot of people help him make the good Star Wars movies. After that, they weren't necessarily that great. I think people forget that, like, they were so when he didn't have a lot of those other people around. The sequels, the first set of sequel movies weren't, the movie 4, 5, and 6 were not great. They weren't terrible, but they weren't great. 7, 8, 9, his 7, 8, 9, I don't expect are going to be a lot better. So I'm like, I don't...
Using numbers when describing Star Wars movies is a horrible idea.
All right, and I'll just say it like this. I don't think he's still got that dog in him.
Because 4, 5, and 6, when you say 4, 5, and 6, we think of the first 3.
Oh, yeah, they did it like... Oh,
which I know you're talking about 1, 2, and 3 as the 4th, 5th, and 6th movie created.
Okay. The three good Star Wars movies had a lot of help. The 3 movies he made after the 3 good Star Wars movies were okay at best. The movies he makes after the 3 Kathleen Kennedy tragedies are probably not going to be amazing. They'll be better than what KK makes, but that's just because it's not her. And we could make better Star Wars movies than Kathleen Kennedy. I know you're saying that's a stretch. No, we could, because we would just go grab some of the Expanded Universe books and make those, because we're not idiots. I would just go, hey, Bloodaxe, which 3 books should we use? And we would go grab those books, and then we would look at them and go, movie. And that would be better than what she did.
No, just go Dark Empire and call it a day. I mean, that's probably going to be the best that you can get away with. But, I mean, he's not even going to get a chance to make a film. He's going to make a series. So he'll get a short little series just to placate him for getting his votes, to keep Bob Iger on the board and keep Nelson Peltz off.
Which is going so well. So many wise decisions have been made since then. People are having a great time at the restaurants.
shoot.
No, don't go into it, but you know what I'm referencing for the people that are savvy.
Right now, I didn't even bother going to Brickfest yesterday. I was like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like dealing with it.
You know, it's going so well, though. So many great decisions. Everything's going so well.
Oh, Flynn asks, so looking back, are the prequels as bad? Or are they so-so?
I consider them okay. I don't think they're terrible. Like, I actually enjoyed them. But I like Mace Windu. I like that character. I enjoyed it. I didn't really have as much problem with the other characters. I think they're okay Star Wars movies. I mean, are they amazing? No, but they're not terrible.
They're better than a sequel trilogy.
Oh, well, everything's better than a sequel trilogy. The Book of Boba Fett's better than a sequel trilogy.
All right. I think at this point we're gonna wrap it up, guys. It's just becoming a weird argument. All right. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where you find links everywhere we are online, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on our YouTube channel. And as every week,
we hope you enjoy.